In this video, I'm going to give you an example of how you can integrate custom code into the Dittofi app builder. The custom code we're going to integrate is going to be responsible for saving some data to the local storage of the browser. However, you can use custom code to do anything that you want. This is just an initial example. So to begin with, I'm going to go down to this little icon down here and go to the templates page here. Under this front end folder and under functions, I can click on this plus button here and I can enter in a function. I can enter in the name set local storage. When I do this, what I'll see is that I get given a little text editor window where I can come and write some custom JavaScript code. For this example, I'm just going to take this snippet of code from this website here and paste it in like so. If I step back to my page builder now and go to my workflow tab, I can do new workflow. I could create a workflow called set local storage. In my workflow, I can add an event and I can set the kind of the event to run custom. When I do this, it will allow me to pick that set local storage function that I created. If I want to pass variables into this particular function, what I can do is I can go back to my template and on the right hand side I can do add input variable and I could create a variable here called data to save, for example, and just press save changes. This adds the variable on the right hand side of the screen. If I go back to my page builder now and into my workflow section and bring up this workflow and do run custom and set local storage, what you see now is we have an additional field here called data to save. This allows me to pass a variable under this name data to save into this custom function. What I'm going to do then is go to my variables tab and create a variable here called data and just add that. And then under my workflow now, I can pick that variable and pass it into this function. In the return as field here, I can just give this a name, and what this does is it creates a new variable in the background which will store the response of the function, so whatever the function has returned. In this case, our function is returning nothing, so this will just store an empty value. If I press save now, that's set up the workflow. If I come back now to my template, the way the input variables here work is they all get passed into the function under the keyword payload. For example, what is actually going to get passed into the function is something that looks like this. What I can do then to actually access this variable in my function is I could come here and I could do payload dot and then take the input variable name and do data to save. I'm going to update this to data. So now what this should do is store the data to save variable under the keyword data in your browser. If I go back to my page builder now, I'm just going to build a quick simple screen. So I'll add some columns to the screen, add a text input. I'll just delete this column here and centrally align this like so, and then add a button underneath which I can label as save to local storage. On the button then, I can come to the lightning bolt icon, do add workflow, trigger on click, and pick that set local storage workflow that we created. And then for this text input here, I can come and I can bind that to the data variable. Now, whenever we type into this input box here, what will happen is it will write the information into this data variable here that you've typed. When we then click this button, what will happen is it will call this set local storage workflow, which we've created here. And in this set local storage workflow, we'll just do this run custom event here, which is going to be responsible for actually writing the data here to the local storage. So if I go to the preview tab now and then type something in this box here and take a look under application, local storage, what you can see here is we update the data that's getting stored in the browser when we click the button. So this is an example then of how you can integrate a custom function into your app. In this example, the custom function wrote some information to local storage, but you could literally do anything that you want in these custom functions.